Hey everyone, Columbina just came out with Luna 4 and I wanted to try making this kind of video where we sort of gather her materials together, or I guess enough materials to get her to her second to last ascension. I believe it's the second to last ascension. Yeah, and I won't lie, I was inspired a bit by other creators I saw on my YouTube feed. Shoutouts to the YouTube algorithm, I guess. So I'll leave a link, or at least a channel name, to them in the description below. I don't know any of these people, but just in case you're wanting some more, I guess, cozy type of videos. For Columbina, we're going to be focusing on two types of materials. The flowers, which are the winter Isolea flowers, or Isolea, I'm not quite sure how you say that, and the radiant antlers, which are a drop from the Frostmoon Hera enemy. I won't lie, a little bit annoying, but we'll get to that later. When I did this, the patch just came out, and so the first thing on my mind was getting the flowers. And as you may or may not know, there's a teleport right where the new area is of patch 6.3, and so you could just go there, probably just to help new players get to the flowers faster. I'm kind of in that spot, and so you go there and you keep going forward or straight, and you're gonna run into a world quest starting immediately. Yeah, that's kind of not ideal, but at the same time, you know, you're gonna have to face the world quest eventually. So personally, I just went right through it. Probably jump off to the side and avoid it, but I don't know, it's kind of up to you. It was like, I don't know, 15 minutes max of a detour, so it wasn't that bad, but a little bit annoying in the end anyways. But yeah, you'll love auto proximity quests, or however they're called. Anyways, after going forward with that, checking out the flowers, we have Ino for our exploration here, since she can tell us where the flowers are on the map. And I decided to use the in-game map for this, or the in-game mini-map to be more correct, instead of a better map that you can use online. That's just how I plan to do things, since I'm kind of lazy and don't want to alt-tab everything. I could bring it up on my phone too, but you know, there's just a lot of things going on with that. So to keep it simple, I'm just using the mini-map. It's a little unhelpful, but it's also pretty convenient, so that's why I have Ino. And at the time, I was unaware if we need to actually have her or not in the party to see the stuff, so I kind of made my team look a little weird, but it didn't matter in the end, right? We have Ino on the team, and she kind of moves faster than my characters with her skill. Granted, it's really short distance, but you know, any distance is better than less distance, I suppose. And we're just going around collecting flowers. I eventually went to a small part of the map which had Abyssal Corruption on it, and it has this enemy that locks onto you. I was pretty scared of it since I did not want my Ino dying around, but luckily I just jumped around and found the flowers anyway. as I went around with Ino, I saw some cool sights. I switched to Nefer for a bit since I thought there would be some kind of movement thing. I could have sworn that her thing was like slightly faster if you hold it or something. I haven't really looked at Nefer's kit. I own Nefer, but you know, I don't know what I'm doing with my account.
It all adds up.
Go claw!
Eventually we entered this area that was sort of reminiscent of Dragon Spine, and while I wasn't dying since I had Nefer, it was still cool to see that they wanted some engagement with the map. Lighting the lanterns along the way probably helped me out in the future whenever I come back to this area. I haven't explored Notcry to its fullest yet, so who knows how big this whole lantern thing really is. I did see some pretty cool sights along the way. At least I thought they were pretty cool. It's been a while since I actually wanted to collect flowers in this game. Granted, I pretty much only used the same 4 characters for like everything, but it was nice seeing the sort of world of Genshin again after having not for a long time. It's pretty nice actually to collect flowers like this. I was planning to collect all my flowers by myself since I didn't want to bother anyone else's world. I'm not that kind of player. No judgment if you are though, because I mean, you know, we're all trying to build our characters anyway, but yeah.
Ready?
Also, at this point, I didn't realize that Columbina actually has a sort of faster movement speed than other characters by default, even when you're just sort of walking or sprinting and jumping. She kind of has a faster speed with that, and so I didn't realize that at the time. I kind of felt it when using her, but I wasn't quite sure based on what my hands were telling me with the keyboard. So that's why I sort of just stuck to Ino and Nefer, mainly Ino. I really thought that skill could carry me distances, but yeah, it didn't quite end up working like that.
You on this?
Eventually, at one point, I had a viewer come in to help collect some of the materials with me. Shout out to you, Husk, for coming in and helping me with the Frost Moon Hera. That enemy is alright, but with Husk, you're able to get that thing dead in probably less than a minute. Or, if I had to guess, 30 seconds or less. That's what it felt like. By myself, I'd probably say it was a minute and a half, so we were shaving off some really good time with it. For me, for me, it was pretty fast.
Let's blow bubbles! Hey! Yo! Don't slip it!
Ultimatum protocol.
Close your eyes. Be silent.
Wibbly wobbly! You might feel a little prick!
Close your eyes. Night falls.
Annihilation mode.
Let my name echo in song!
Close your eyes. To
Strike
dust.
a pose!
Eventually, after killing this enemy a bunch of times, I finally had enough materials to get Columbina ascended all the way to 80, and we also decided to do a little bit of artifact grinding, not really to get Columbina good relics, but just to get her some stuff to start with. And I'll be honest, I'm not quite certain about any stat threshold or whatever. I mainly come from a Honkai Star Rail or Zenless Zone Zero background, so I'm more familiar with the stats in those games and how the measures and how the parameters and how the thresholds work. But for Columbina, I kind of don't know what I'm doing. I know that she wants about 35,000 health, then some crit, and also a bunch of energy regen, depending on your team and your artifacts. There's a lot here that I don't know, so I recommend checking out a guide that's more useful. I'll have a link to one in the description below. It's at least a quick guide based on this patch that you can check out for yourself, which I highly recommend since I'm no guide expert.
And cleanse the earth makes me feel safe. Like being home.
So the next time that I could gather flowers, I went in with a different plan. With the exploration characters, I knew that I didn't need a whole team of people who couldn't move around as fast, so I decided to change things up. I know that Natland has some exploration mechanics built in, so I decided to swap some of my characters for them. I tested a little bit before getting this footage. I sort of just settled on Ian-san and Kachina. Ifa would have been a nice choice as well. I kind of don't know why I didn't pick him, but I kind of found it funnier that these small models were going after the flowers anyways. And because I thought Aino was still needed, I figured I could just lump her into rotation of Kachina, Ian-san, and Aino, which turned out to be not very effective. I pretty quickly realized that Ian-san and Kachina would be a rotation that loops forever together. Like, once the skill is over, I just go to the next person and back and forth. Aino really kind of contributed nothing, which I guess is on a similar amount to what her kit actually does anyways. So, in the end, I didn't have to use Aino that much, but, you know, we still used her a bit. Also with Kachina, I don't know why her skill just summons her vehicle and you have to get into it. I don't know if there's something related to her kit on that. I feel like I'm making a fool out of myself by saying this out loud, but it was just slight inconvenience having to get back into the vehicle after summoning it every single time. I mean, you'd figure that pressing the skill button would get you into the vehicle, but who knows, right? With Ian-san, she was kind of like my Varessa at home, since I don't have Varessa. I had to sort of skip her in order to gamble 50-50 on Columbina, which luckily worked out for me, but if it didn't, it wouldn't have mattered anyway.
Quick as a flash! Let her rip!
I was pleasantly surprised by Yansan's speed with her skill, but I wasn't quite sure in the end if Columbina's movement by herself would have been faster.
Keep pushing!
Probably similar, since there's some delay between getting into Kachina's vehicle and switching between the characters, and also the random Ainos that I threw in every now and then, but you know, it didn't matter that much in the end, right? Flower gathering is as casual as it gets in this game, so I didn't have to focus too much anyways on the movement. And it went really fast on this second gathering of them. Maybe it's because I was familiar with their locations already, but it was pretty nice. I also saw there was some random NPC on the ground laying. I kind of wanted to avoid him, but I was like, I'm already here. I'm pretty sure that was the start of a side quest, maybe a world quest, I don't remember, but it was kind of funny seeing that in the area.
Quick as a flash! Charge! Let her rip!
Now, I don't know too much about the prototype set of weapons for Columbina. All I knew is that I also needed some of those materials, so I went on a little bit of a side quest to gather it from the enemies, which was a little bit of a pain.
Committed to memory. Emerge. Right now. Emerge. Booty booty! This might hurt a little.
In the end, we managed to get most of Columbina's materials that we needed, and so successfully we managed to ascend her and level her.
But by the iridescent moon, darkness shall be cast deeper into the shadows.
Overall, I'm pretty satisfied with getting Columbina. I sort of knew that getting Columbina wouldn't be the end of the whole grind for the characters. Like I mentioned earlier, I had Nefer, who wasn't leveled at all, so I had to sort of go on a side quest to get her materials right after.
A grain of truth, a mere drop in the ocean.
So with that all said and done, thank you for watching this video. I know there could be a lot of improvements here and there, but I just wanted to get something out for Columbina, since she was pretty special to my account anyways. Yeah. I don't know if I'll do more of this kind of video in the future, since I mostly upload Star Rail and Zenless Zone Zero with no commentary, but yeah, this was a fun sort of side thing to try out for the channel. So yeah, I hope all Columbina wanters are Columbina havers, and if not, may you get her in the future. Thank you again. Bye bye.